To say you gotta know somebody, or know somebody to give somewhere these days. To say you know that's alright, yeah, that's alright. Cause you know that's alright with me. Yeah, you know that's alright, yeah, that's alright. Cause you know that's
I'm going to pay them off. And if you notice in this calculation, I'm not paying them any interest. Okay? Why am I not paying them any interest? Because they're not giving me any money. If they want to give me money, I got a program for that. That's called private lending. I'll pay you interest if you've got money to actually give me. They're not giving me money. They're giving me a house they're looking to get rid of. And they're picking up an income stream. So I'm going to pay them $500 a month. They agree to this deal. Okay? I'm paying them 0% interest. Now, many times when I do a seller financing deal, the financing, 0% interest, means that every time I pay them $500 a month, the principal on the house goes down $500 a month. My net worth goes up $500 a month. Can you imagine if you got $20,000 a month of these things going on? My net worth is going up by $20,000 a month. That's only 5 minutes. I got $20,000 a month. My net worth is going up. That is, it's beautiful. It's such a great way to get rich. What people don't understand about this business, a lot of you watch these TV shows with these people doing flips all the time. They don't even understand this business. They don't know what this business is about. This business is not about the bricks and sticks as much as it is about the financing. If you can secure great financing for yourself, you are going to get wealthy exponentially. All right? Just imagine if I told you I had $20,000 a month in seller finance payments. I mean, my net worth is going up by $250,000 a year. And I'm not even making those payments. The tenants are making them, right? And I'm making a profit off of those houses. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful business. You understand these 3 basic techniques. That's all there is to it. 3 basic techniques. Okay? Now, I only got about 3 minutes, so I'm going to show you something. Years ago, I wanted to develop a product so I could help people and so I could make a little bit of money when I come out to these presentations. I used to have this bag that looked just like this. We called it Phil's bag, all right? What was in Phil's bag was all these contracts. In here, I had every kind of contract for every kind of deal. So when I sat down with the seller, if they had a lot of equity in the house, I pulled out my seller financing contracts. If they had a subject to mortgage I wanted to take over, I have contracts for subject to. I pull them out, okay? I had all the contracts I needed to buy their house. Because if I get in front of somebody, if they call my truck or come into my store or call one of my marketing things, I want to sit down with them. I want to close the deal right then and there. All right? I'm not in this business because I like it. I do like it. I'm addicted to it. I'm in it to make money. I want to buy houses. I get paid when I buy houses. I don't have a job. So I developed this product where I teach people these techniques. I have these are the 3 techniques I was talking to you about. Private money, okay? And then we got subject to, and then we got seller financing. These are 3 key techniques that I use to buy houses with none of your own money, okay? I have DVDs. You can watch about an hour-long presentation where I talk to you about everything you need to know how to do. All the things you got to do to secure a private money. All the things you got to do to secure each one of these techniques, okay? I got audio CDs so you can listen to them in your car. And most importantly, I got the contracts. And I'm going to give them to you, okay? I'm going to give you contracts that you can use in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, anywhere you want to use them. Okay? And that is the most valuable thing. How did I get all these contracts? From paying lawyers gobs of money. Okay? So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about how to do this stuff for yourself, we sell these modules for like $297 a piece. Okay? You can learn about any one of these techniques for $300. If you're interested in all the techniques, real quick I'll tell you something. I gave you the 3 key techniques today. But here's what happens in reality. Sometimes you buy a house with nothing but private money. Sometimes you buy a house with nothing but subject to. Sometimes you buy a house with nothing but seller financing. But the reality of it is, real estate's a little more complicated than that. Sometimes you got to give them some money. You got to fix up the house, so you got to go raise some private money, and you're doing a subject to. So what you really do in reality is you combine these techniques. Okay? So you combine subject to with private money, or private money with seller financing. Most real estate deals, probably 75% of them, require a combination of these techniques. So it's important that you learn all the techniques. And when you do combinations of them, the paperwork gets a little tricky. There's special paperwork you got to use. And our buyer's briefcase teaches people how to do all of that. Okay? okay? You can get the whole package if you want everything. Come over to our table, we'll talk to you about it. This is what we do, we seller financing. For $200 a month, you can walk out of here with it today, okay? So, until Nick kicks me out of here, any questions? Yeah, go ahead. You want to answer that?
Does Dodd-Frank affect any of the techniques? Usually, there's one loan you get from Dodd-Frank, and somebody can seller finance their own house that they live in without being subject to all that Dodd-Frankenstein stuff. The second one is more regulations on it. So all we care about is the first one anyway. If somebody's got a bunch of houses to sell, there's different ways you can do it. They could probably use trust. It's kind of a gray area with that. I know a lot of private lenders are not doing private lending to consumers. Oh, you know what? With Dodd-Frank, it's only residential consumer loans. So as long as it's business purposes, it's a commercial purposes loan, us as investors, they're cool with that. It's not subject to Dodd-Frank. If they're seller financing to somebody who's going to live in the property, now they're subject to Dodd-Frank.
It's a massive law. We call it Dodd-Frankenstein. He's actually read half of it. That's why I told him. I couldn't read that stuff for 5 minutes. Go ahead.
If you do a subject to if the loan is maturing, like, within like 2 or 3 years, for example?
It depends. I mean, if I really want the house, the financing is a key part of it. Yeah, I might. Yeah, if the loan is maturing in a few years, you mean like a balloon's coming due or something? Yeah, I might. Well, a lot of times when we work with private lenders, we get balloons all the time. And one of the things we were just talking about in a car way over is going, man, we got all these freaking loans. We better like start a chart on when all these balloons are due. We hate it when the phone rings and we go, oh, by the way, you owe us 150 grand. Yeah.
But would you let like the seller like refinance it, or would you refinance it?
Every deal has a life of its own. You learn this business by sitting in front of sellers and making deals. So, I mean, that's what I have to tell you. Every deal is a life of its own. Who had a question behind you? Go ahead.
How do trust impact refinancing houses?
I didn't get the question.
How do trust impact refinancing houses? Like if you hold a property in LLC, that's different than institutional funding.
We hate institutional finance. So we don't do a lot of calling up banks and asking them what they think.
How do you take the money out? How do you take the equity out of the property?
How do you take the
You
equity
don't
out?
take equity out once you guys are paying down capital?
Same way you would take the equity out of any property you own.
Refinance? Well, that's what I'm saying. How do trust
I can't answer your question about what banks think about trust. It depends on where they are. Okay, in Pennsylvania, very few people use trust. In Florida, maybe 30% of the people buy properties in trust. So it depends on where you're buying. I mean, in Florida, they're much more inclined to have no issue with trust. Up here, occasionally, we tried to do a short sale once where the bank wouldn't accept. They wouldn't allow us to buy it in the entity of a trust. I had no freaking idea why. So I bought that property in my name. But, and then we just changed. You can change the name of any property you buy into a trust as well. So if you've got 12 properties right now in your name and you want to get rid of them, we teach you how to do that in a trust product. You can change it. I mean, it's $300 and you'll learn how to save yourself a hell of a lot of grief. I don't know about where you invest. In Philadelphia, if I used to own like, dozens and dozens of houses in the city of Philadelphia, they'd love to go around and fine you for everything under the sun. Okay, trash fines, okay? Like they fine my tenants for trash because they didn't put their recyclables out, okay? And then I send a tenant a note saying, hey, this is very important. You know what they do with my note? They put it in the trash, okay? And then the city comes around and fines me. And if I don't pay the fine on that property, where I didn't even know about the damn fine because they're mailing it to the house, okay? They can go and lien all of my properties until that fine's paid.